So, Madam, she is singing of Lord Ram, Lord Ramchandra. You can come and sit in the middle if you like. So, Lord Ram, he lived some 2 million years ago. And himself, his wife, Sita, brother, to the left of Sita, Lakshmana, Bharat, to the right of Ram, and Hanuman, who's sitting with the umbrella. They're known as Maryada. Maryada means ideal. That they represent divinity descending into this world to show what is the ideal way to act. And this idealism is based on love. That we are tiny parts and parcels of divinity. And our constitutional position is to love. But coming to this material world, that divine love undergoes a transformation. And now, instead of swimming in that ocean of divine love, now we're swimming in the ocean of material love. Material love means that we are becoming attached to so many things of this material world. And due to that attachment, we're not feeling the satisfaction of the soul. So the Bhagavad Gita stated, Yada yada yadamsya glanya bhavati bharata, that in every age, the Lord appears to teach us, to help us learn our lessons in this material world. This material world is a school where we learn lessons and then we move on. So Lord Ram, and especially his wife Sita, they're teaching us what is selfless love and how to see every situation in this world as a positive situation. Even the most negative, apparently negative situations. So Sita was put under so many different tests. I'm not going to go into detail, but Lord Ram and Sita, they went into the forest for 14 years. When Ram was going, he asked Sita that you stay. Sita said no, that I'm your wife, and if you have to undergo trials and tribulations, then I'll share that with you. Ram said, I want you to take care of my mother. Sita said, no, I want to go with you. Ram said, Sita, you're too soft. You're a princess. You've lived a very opulent life. When you go to the forest, there's so many thorns, rocks, snakes, wild animals. What will you eat? There are only fruits and berries. Where will you sleep? You have to sleep on the ground. Your arms will be your pillows. Sita said, I don't mind. That whatever suffering you have to undergo, I'll undergo that with you. Ram said, no, Sita, you have to stay. Then Sita said, Ram, why are you insulting me? That I am your wife, and the dharma, the duty of a wife, is to always be there with the husband. Ram said, but now I'm asking that you stay back and take care of your mother. And Sita became very angry. She said, Ram, why do you insult me like this? Do you think my father has not trained me? Do you think that he has not trained me what is the duty of a wife and how to act. I thought that you were a king. I thought that you were valiant. I thought that you were a warrior. But now I see that you're not really, you're less than a man. Ram said, nevertheless, you have to stay. And Sita started to cry and cry. Said, Ram, I will not stay. That I will go with you. Just like there's no separation between a flower and a fragrance, the sun and the heat and the light, there will be no separation between you and I. Ram said, Sita, still you have to stay. And Sita, crying and crying, she said, Ram, there's no way that I'll stay. That you cannot do this to me. You cannot insult me like this. And then finally Ram said, Sita, I was only testing. You can come. But the test, they didn't stop there. That was just the beginning. They went into the forest. And there, Sita was kidnapped. And she was kept on an island by a person called Ravan. And Ravan, he had taken so many ladies, but he had a curse. And the curse was that he could not be with any lady against a lady's will. If not, he would be destroyed. So many ways he tried to induce and entice Sita, but there was no way. Finally, Ram, he got together an army of monkeys headed by Hanuman. And they had to cross over from the southern part of India to Lanka. Hanuman, along with the monkeys and bears, they wrote the mantra, Ram. Here we're chanting, Ayodhyavasi Ram. They were just by the power of their love for Ram. When they wrote that mantra, the power of Ram was imbued, and those rocks, they started to float. And in this way they made a bridge, and they crossed over which ocean? The Indian Ocean. They went to Lanka. And then there was a big battle. Huge battle. Ravan, he had so many mystic powers. He could fly in the air. He could assume so many different forms. And Hanuman was such a ferocious warrior that at one point Ravan had tied Hanuman. And then Hanuman, his tail was lit. And then Hanuman became so big, he broke the ropes, and with his tail, he burnt down this whole city of Lanka. Then the war started. And so many of the warriors of Ram were killed. Even Ram's brother Lakshman, he was knocked unconscious. And then finally Ram, he took his bow and he pierced the heart of Ram. Now, Sita, she had been in a Ashok grove, a grove of Ashok trees. Shoka means suffering. Ashok means a place where there's no misery. But there she was lamenting bitterly for her husband. Finally, they were going to be united. Did you find that thing? So, all the warriors on Ram's side who had been killed, by the mercy of Ram, they were rejuvenated and they got their life back. And now, the monkeys, the bears, the warriors, they were all standing, waiting for Sita to come out of this Ashok grove and be reunited with Ram. When they saw Sita, their hearts were overwhelmed with joy that they had fought so valiantly, and they were feeling that yes, that certainly this fight was worth it. But what did Ram do? Ram was very brave. He was very stern. And with a voice like thunder, He said, Sita, do you think I fought this great war at the expense of all these people for you? He said, no. I fought this war to establish the dignity of my dynasty, the Raju dynasty. That nobody will kidnap any lady from our family. But now that you've been freed and you've been captive of Raju, I cannot take you back. Everybody was shocked. Everybody's jaws dropped. And Sita was humiliated in front of thousands of people. She had been crying for Ram. And finally she came, and she was there in front of her love. She had given her whole heart to him, and then he just humiliated her in front of everybody. And there was nowhere for her to go. She could not go back, she could not go anywhere. The Guru said that I guarantee you that Sita is completely pure. She has not been touched by Ravana at all. And by mind, body, word, she has not in any way taken any decision to be with Ravana. Ram said no. Then finally decided that to show her purity, that she would have to walk through fire. The fire was blazing, not like this. Very, very powerful fire. And everybody was watching. And Sita, very, very calmly, she walked into the fire. And after some seconds, then everybody saw Sita walk out of the fire completely untouched and pure and glistening and brilliant as ever. All the warriors, they were chanting, Jai Sita, Jai Sita, Jai Sita. And then Ram and Sita, they went on a pushpa, on a flower, on an airplane that took all the warriors. It was so big that it could accompany all the warriors, and it had different levels on it. And then they went to Ayodhya, the kingdom of Ram. There Ram, he took his position as king. But again, there was a test for Sita. Ram heard that people had been still talking that how Sita could be away from Ram for 1 year and he would take her. So Ram told his brother, Lakshman, that you take Sita and you take her to the forest and you leave her there. I cannot keep her with you because the people, they haven't doubted me as a king. When Lakshman was taking Sita, Sita was very happy. We're going back to the forest and I'll be with so many sages. And there I'll hear so many beautiful spiritual discussions. I miss it so much. Lakshman cried and said, Sita, actually, you will not come back. That Ram has asked that you stay in the forest because some people still think that there was that it was not right that you were not with Ram. Sita started to cry. She said, Lakshman, I'm pregnant. You're going to send in the forest pregnant. And Lakshman, what he could do. But what did Sita think? Was she angry with Ram? How could he do this to me? I've been so faithful to him. How could he treat me like this? I'm pregnant. No. She thought that still I want to serve. That the manifestation of love is one's desire to serve. In this world, we serve so many material objects, but our service is really meant for the divine. Ram is the divine, but he's putting Sita through so many tests. Why? To show that no matter how many tests a pure lover has, that those tests will not break that love, but rather it will increase the love and show the glory of that love. For this reason, Ram did this. Not because he was mean or anything like that. He did this to show the glory of love so that we know what is the ideal. And the ideal is Sita. Sita said, Lakshman, when I die, you burn my body, and the ashes you take and fertilize a tree. When that tree will be finished, then you take the tree and you make some wooden sandals and you give this to Ram. And in this way, even in my death, I'll be able to serve Ram. And in this way she went into the forest without any remorse, but only thinking, how can I serve divinity? That this is the reason why we're in this material world. We have a lesson to learn. We have to learn how we can transform our love from matter to the divine. Now we have love for and attachment for so many material objects. And because of this love and attachment, then it creates an ultimate burning in the heart. So then Sita, she gave birth to twins. Ram, he was having a big fire sacrifice. And there was a deity of Sita that was there in the fire sacrifice. These twins were now 12 years old. And they came into the assembly. They did not know who was this king. And they were singing the song called Ramayana, which is the life of Ram. They did not know that this Ramayana was about their father. And they did not know that that man in front of them was their father. And neither did he know that they were his sons. But everybody was completely enchanted by the beauty and purity of these boys, and the beauty and purity of their voices. When Ram found out that these boys were his sons, he asked that his wife again be brought. When she was brought, then Ram, again he said, Sita, people still doubt your purity. What will you do? And then Sita, she was not born by meeting a man and woman, but rather she came from the earth. So Sita said, I will perform my final pastime, my final lila. She said, O Mother Earth, I have come from you. So, if I have been pure in body, mind, and words, then please, because I've come from you, it's time for me to end my pastimes. You come and you take me. The earth opened. There was a throne, and seated on the throne was a personality of earth. Sita walked to her, sat on the lap, and the earth closed, and she finished her pastimes. Ram was crying. Oh, my Sita, she's gone. My Sita, she's gone. Oh, Vasundhara, oh, Mother Earth, you bring her back, or else I'll rip you apart. And the voice said, Ram, these pastimes now are coming to an end. You have performed your pastimes, and Sita has shown that actually what is purity, what is selfless love. That in life we all go through tribulations. But if we are desirous of achieving pure love, then the Supreme will arrange that those tribulations will just be stepping stones towards liberation and pure love. That for one who is taken to the path of pure love, then there's no inauspiciousness in their life, and there's no unfavorable situation. The most unfavorable situation will be turned into the most favorable situation. Because this world is only the energy of the Supreme Lord. And He's using this as His school. It is a school for us. And we keep on taking birth and birth and birth until we learn the lesson that we should give up selfish love and we should adopt selfless love. And selfless love, it comes by directing our energy wholly and solely towards the Supreme. When we direct our energy to the Supreme and develop attachment to the Supreme, then we can give up the attachment to this world. If we don't have attachment to the Supreme, automatically we have attachment to this world, and then it will bring the ache in the heart. So the mantras, Ram, Krishna, not just chanting them, but also remembering their pastimes, then this is a form of yoga, and it is the most sweet form of meditation. because in this way, one is able to enter into these pastimes and very, very easily, not easily, but simply, then develop pure love. So this pastime took place 2 million years ago in Treta Yuga. So now we come to the next Yuga, which is Dwapara Yuga, 5,000 years ago, where Krishna, he performed his pastimes in Vrindavan, and he brought Vrindavan down. So before we go with the next bhajan, just like to say that it's a very auspicious day because it is the grand opening for the new Synergy Center in Collins Avenue? Collins Avenue. So on this day, and also today is also a very, very special day. It's called Ekadashi. It's a very holy day. So we are praying to Lord Ram, Krishna, that those who come here, that they not only get the benefit of yoga for their body and their mind, but also they become inspired to continue on their path of self-realization, which is the goal of human life. Synergy Yoga Center Ki. So now 5,000 years ago, Krishna, he appeared and he came with his holy abode Vrindavan along with his associates. Previously, when he performed his pastimes as Lord Ram, there were so many monkeys who were helping him. But they hardly had anything to eat. So now, that same Ram, he's appeared as Gopal. And he's in the house of Nanda Maharaj, who's the king of the cowherd men. And they have so many cows. 900, practically 1 million cows. And so much milk, yogurt. So those same monkeys who fought with him, they come. And now, Ram in the form of Gopal, he's feeding them so much butter and yogurt. But when he's stealing this butter and yogurt, Mother Yashoda, she's been told by the cowherd ladies that, hey Yashoda, Gopal, he's a chore, he's a thief. He's always stealing so much makan that no matter where I hide the butter, that when he goes in there, I don't know if it's his jewelry or his effulgence, it just lights up the room and nothing can be hid from him. And they spend the whole day complaining to Mother Yashoda. But actually they're telling Mother Yashoda, hey Yashoda, we're so lucky. Because Gopal comes in our house and he's stealing butter and yogurt. And he's not coming and stealing in your house. Mother Yashoda says, so if you catch Gopal, you bring him to me. So one day, one gopi, she's going to the Yamuna to get some water. And she tells her husband, you stand guard here and you make sure Gopal, he does not come and steal. He says, okay. He gets a chair, he sits there, and he's watching vigilantly. Make sure Gopal doesn't come. But then he leans back and then he goes into a sleep, and before long, and then coming from the door, there's an effulgence. And Gopal, very stealthily, sneaking, he sees the man. And then he goes by him, he goes into the room. The butter and yogurt has been hidden. But Gopal, his jewelry and his effulgence, illuminate the room, and nothing's hid from him. He eats butter to his heart's content. And then he's coming out. And the man is, and he goes, and then he stops. And then he comes back. He goes by the snoring man, goes in the room. He fills his hand with butter. And then he comes back, and as the man is, he just smears his face, and then puts on his hands, and then he goes away. The man is still sleeping, and then when his wife comes, and then she sees his face completely white and his hands, she says, "Ore, what are you doing? Why you stole this bucket?" And then he wakes up, and he's looking, and he's thinking, that Gopal. Another time, Gopal, he has his hand in the pot, and the gopi catches him, and says, "Gopal, now I'm taking you to Mother Yashoda." Then they're going to a place in Gokul. There on top of a hill is the house of Nanda Maharaj. "Hey Yashoda, I've caught Gopal. I've caught him red-handed." Mother Yashoda comes out with all her friends and says, "Okay, where's Gopal?" And then she removes her shawl, and when she looks, says, "Here's Gopal." She sees her own son. So, "Alright, what are you doing here?" And then Gopal comes from his room, rubbing his eyes. "Oh Maya, oh mother, why are you people making so much noise?" Mother Yashoda said, "She said that you were stealing butter, and then she brought her own son who was supposed to be you." Gopal looked at the lady and gave her a little glint of the eye, said, "Don't try this again." So you see, she's always falsely accusing me. She even thought that I was there stealing butter, take by the hand. So now I must steal, I must steal. And in this way, Gopal, he was stealing butter, but actually he was stealing the hearts. One time, Mother Yashoda, she caught Gopal. And then she took him and she tied him to a tree, twin Arjun trees. At that time, Gopal was only 2.5 years old. And there were some boys who were watching, and there were also some girls. Amongst those girls, there's one young girl, Radhika. And Radhika said, "Oh, so Gopal's so hungry. So now I must go and get so much food for Gopal." So then she would always go door to door and beg some food. "Why you want this food, Radha?" "I want for my Gopal because he's hungry. He should not steal like this." And then in this way, Radharani and her relationship with Gopal is beginning from such an early age. But when Gopal grows up, he gets his friends and performing all kinds of antics, stealing butter and feeding the monkeys. And he grows up even more. He tells Mother Yashoda that I want to go and take care of the cows. Mother Yashoda said, "Gopal, you're too small." Gopal says, "Look, my father's a cowherd man, my grandfather was a cowherd man, my great-grandfather was a cowherd man, so I should go and take care of the cows." Mother Yashoda said, "Gopal, you're too small." He said, "Oh, mother, you find a way." She says, "Okay, you take care of the cows." And then he went, and she brought him slippers and an umbrella. And Gopal said, "Mother, you give me slippers and umbrella, but where are the slippers for the cows? I am their servant. If I'm serving them, why should I have slippers and not them?" Mother Yashoda said that each of these calves have 4 hoofs. It will be too much to give each of them. Said, "Well, if they're not going to have, then I will not have." And there you see his beautiful feet. They're massaging the chest of Vrindavana. And from that day, Gopal, he was always walking into Vrindavan with his bare feet, without any umbrella. Here he's older. As I explained it, as he goes into Vrindavan. So now, I want all of you to now come in Vrindavan. Think that you are behind some bushes. And you're watching as Krishna, who's now Shyam Sundar, as he's going into the Vrindavan forest. Then as he's leaving the house, his mother's following him and saying, "Oh Gopal, just wait." And Gopal saying, No, I must go. And finally, he enters into the forest, and as he's walking, Itam Sarat Sutajalam Padmaka Sugandhina Nyachatai Sampata Sadhu Gopala Kojuta. It's autumn season. The rainy season has passed. The waters of Radha Kund, Shyam Kund, Yamuna, Manasi Ganga, now they're full and crystal clear. Itam Sarat Sutajalam Padmaka. And from the Yamuna, very, very beautiful lotus flower is coming, and Sugandhina, the fragrance, the aroma, is permeating throughout Vrindavan. And in this way, Iti Venurajan Sabhabuta Manoharam, Krishna, he walks into Vrindavan forest, and the birds, they're flying here and there, and the parrots, they're singing Radhe, 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 Radhe. The bees, they're taking honey from the middle of the flowers, and they're buzzing Radhe, 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 Radhe. And then Krishna, he starts to play his flute. We should pray, when will that day come? When our hearts will be purified and we can actually hear the sound of Krishna's flute. When will that day come? When our heart, not only will it be purified, but it will be saturated with sweet mellows of love. Then we'll have the transcendental ears to hear that sound. Here in Vrindavan, the parrots, they hear the sound. Iti Venu Ravan Sarvabhuta Manohara. The tree starts to move here in the flute. It's dancing, just swaying left and right. And the branches are perking up with the hands up in the air. And tears are flowing down in the form of sap coming down the bark of the tree. And the tree is just moving left and right. And as the trees are blowing in the wind, the trees are doing a very beautiful kirtan. Mala, Radhe Radhe. Here, the Iti Venu Ravam Rajan Sarvabhuta Manoharam, they also become manohar. It means they become bewildered, they become intoxicated by drinking that very beautiful sound of the flute. In this intoxicated state, they go and they perch on the branch of the tree, and with eager ears, they drink that sound which enters into their ears and into their hearts. And simultaneously, with unblinking eyes, they also drink the beauty of Krishna's form. Vahabhidam natavarapu kadayokanikaram bibrata shakakalkapisham bhajayanti chamalam pranranvenu adarasadaya priyagopavrindai vrindayanam swapadaramu ravishankita kirti. Vahabhidam, that he's Natavara, he's the best of dancers. Then, when will that day come when I will also be dancing with Krishna? His peacock feather is dancing on his turban. His eyes are going left and right, looking in the forest, also dancing. On his ear is a flower garland, and that is also dancing. His lips are dancing on the flute, his hands are dancing on the flute, and his garland, which is hanging down to his knees, are flowing left and right and dancing. His shawl is dancing, his dhoti is dancing, and his ankle bells are making very, very sweet sound, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. And his heart also, which is like the ocean of love, with so many waves of different moods, are also vibrating, Radhe, 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 Radhe. And as he enters into the forest, then the birds, the parrots, they're drinking this very beautiful form of Natavara. And drinking this form, then their hearts also are dancing. Not only the birds are dancing, but also the cows. The cows are also drinking the very beautiful sound coming from the flute and the very beautiful form of Krishna. And milk is coming down from their udders and flowing down to the ground. The calves, who are also drinking milk from the mothers, they become stunned and they're gaping like pictures. And still not drinking, but what the milk is still flowing and going on the ground and mixing with the grass. So Krishna is calling that we should all come to Vrindavan, that we should give up our attachment for this material world. This is the lesson. He gave that lesson in the previous age as Lord Ramachandra. And now, in this age, Dwapara Yuga, he's giving the same lesson. And he's saying, I want you to come, and I want you to enter into these very beautiful pastimes, that this is your home. He's saying, oh, you come back home, and you hear this very sweet flute sound. So, we want now that you do some meditation on this very beautiful form of Krishna in Vrindavan, and with the mood that, oh Krishna, when will that day come when I will be able to go with you to Vrindavan? So we want you to chant Hare Krishna, repeat after me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare for Radha. And Hare means Radharani, that old Radhe. And Krishna, the all-attractive form of Krishna. That here, chanting that in the mood that when will that day come? When my heart will be completely saturated with the moods of love, and I will be able to be there and serve Radha and Krishna. In this mood, chanting and remembering the pastimes, then chant after me, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The chanting should come from the heart, and the mind should go to the heart. And the mind, the heart, and the chanting should be one. It should be like a fountain, which is coming from the heart, and coming up through the chest, up to the head, and like a fountain, then coming down and cascading and purifying one from head to toe. In this way, do this mantra meditation or mantra snan, bathing with the Maha Mantra and purify the self. Serving the mantra, but calling from the heart, crying like a baby, crying for the mother. Now chant it together. I want you to chant, but not chant, I want you to cry. And not with the mouth, but with the heart. Together, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. From the heart, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, when will that day come? When you chant your whole day, my heart will not be ecstasy. Keep on chanting. Tears should flow from my eyes. Those tears will wash my heart. Keep on chanting. And we transcend from eyes. I will see Radha Krishna. Keep on chanting. When that day comes, when chanting, I will enter into these pastimes of Radha Krishna. Keep on chanting. Those pastimes that are always increasing ecstasy, always dynamic and never boring. Keep on chanting. Those pastimes which can change. The happiness that you're looking for. Keep on chanting. I've been looking for millions of birds, but I've been looking in the wrong place. I've been looking through so many different mature relationships. Keep on chanting. But in these relationships, I've been looking for gold. But what did I get? I got poison. This is mature relationships. In the beginning, it seemed very sweet. That this is it. But what happened? I realized that the happiness is not really there. I realized that there was so many impediments. But oh Krishna, now I understand that I'm really looking for you. And in this way, I am willing to keep on chanting and chanting and chanting, because I know that you won't let me down. For many lives I've been let down in so many other different relationships. But there's only one relationship I can compare that, and that's the relationship of divine love with the Supreme Person, or Supreme Persons, Radha and Krishna. With great faith, determination, chant like this. If you chant for 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, by this bath won't be purified and enlightened. Okay. So now, after doing this meditation, then Madam Didi, she will sing one bhajan Maha Mantra, and then we'll go on to the next aspect, which is the love of Radha and Krishna. So Radha and Krishna, they're inviting us to come to Vrindavan. And what is the process? That we don't have to give up our relationships in this world, but we purify them. We purify them by putting Radha and Krishna in the middle. That just like watering the root of a tree, when you water the root of the tree, then automatically all the branches, leaves, everything is nourished. So, by offering our love and affection to Radha and Krishna, then automatically all our other relationships become nourished in the most full and wholesome way. The personification of this love is Radha. It's explained that in Vrindavan, on the bank of Yamuna, there's a place called Vamsivat. There's a banyan tree. And one time Krishna, he was standing there. Krishna's Advaita Paratattva, the supreme absolute truth. He is the one absolute truth that everything is contained within. All energies are contained within him. But though everything was within him, he was feeling a lack. He wanted to exchange loving relationships. But to exchange loving relationships, it requires more than one. So coming from his heart and manifesting from his left side, manifested a supremely beautiful young girl, her name Radha. That with tears in her eyes and with great transcendental attachment, Rag, she was calling Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And she was running to him, Davati, and calling Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So that person with great Ra, and who is running Davati,
Her name is Radha. That Radha, she is the embodiment of the topmost love. That in Vrindavan, all the love that exists is coming from Radharani. The love of Radharani then manifested and expanded in the form of so many girlfriends, so many gopis. And they're all different manifestations of Radharani's love. That the love that's within the heart of Radharani, of Krishna's mother and father, Nanda Baba, Mother Yashoda, of Radharani's mother and father, Kirtida Sundari and Vrishabhanu Maharaj, of all the elderly Brijvasis, that love is coming from Radharani. The love of Krishna's friends, Madhu Mangal, Sridham, Vasudam, that's coming from Radharani. The love of the cows, birds, Yamuna, trees, the love of all the living entities of Vrindavan, it comes from the heart of Radharani and manifests in the hearts of these personalities. And the love that we have in this material world, which is not yet pure, is but a perverted reflection of that pure love that's coming from Radharani. So Radharani, by her mercy, this love can be purified and then attain its pure spiritual form. So, Radha and the gopis, who are they? It's explained in the Brahma Samhita. Ananda Chinmoy Rasa Pratibhavitavis Tabiya Eva Nijarupate Atalabhir Goloka Eva Nivasati Atalakabudho Govinda Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. That Ananda means the potency of love. And the potency of love is Radha. Ananda Chit means the potency of knowledge, and that's Krishna. Ananda Chinmoy. When there's a meeting of Radha and Krishna, then the manifestation is the beautiful mellows of love called Ras. Ananda Chinmoy Rasa Pratibhavitavis. But even though Radharani comes from Krishna, and Krishna is the supreme, but now in the game of love, in the play of love, then Krishna, he has to go to his potency and take shelter. So Krishna, he says, Radhika Prem Guru Ami Sisyanat. That in love, that Radharani is the guru and I'm the disciple. That Radharani is the puppeteer and I'm the puppet. And she's making me dance in so many novel ways. So Krishna, he takes shelter of Radharani and he dances according to her tune. That Radharani, just by her glance, then Krishna, his flute falls, his peacock feather falls, everything falls. But one time, Krishna said, I am the greatest. I can defeat everybody. And one of his friends said, how about the gopis? Krishna said, the gopis are nothing. Just by my glance, they'll be defeated. How about Radharani? Radharani, I can easily defeat her. And news went to Radharani. Then Radharani and her friends, they declared we'll have a wrestling match with Krishna. Radha against Krishna. The date was set, the time was set, the place was set, in a place called Bandirvan. And the arena was decorated very, very beautifully, and there was a very, very big hedge. On one side was Krishna, on the other side was Radha. Krishna, he was doing sit-ups, or squats. And when he was doing his squats, a breeze came and touched the veil of Radharani. And touching the veil of Radharani, that breeze became intoxicated and floated over the arena and to the other side of the hedge and just touched the nostril of Krishna. Just by the touch of the breeze that touched her veil, Krishna, he fell to the ground. His friend said, Krishna, you okay? He said, the sand was slippery. No problem. Then Krishna, he got up and he went into the wrestling arena. On the other side, Radharani, she came, but her face was covered. He could not see her face. But immediately the whole wrestling arena, it took a very beautiful golden hue. Tadit Suvana Champaka Pradipta Gora Vigrahe Mukha Prabha Parasta Koti Saradindu Vichitra Chitra Sanchara Chakura Savalochane Kadakari Sisiyama Kripa Katak Sivajana. It says Tadit Suvana, that Radharani, her complexion is gold. But gold is hard. So it says gold, but soft like a champak flower. Very soft and very, very smooth. Tadit Suvana Champaka Pradipta Gora Vigrahe, and very effulgent. That effulgence lit up the whole wrestling arena. And when Krishna just saw that form, then he started to rock and he said, "Oh Madhu, oh Madhu, oh Madhu. How sweet, how sweet, how sweet." And then Radharani, she lifted her veil and she shot so many arrows, sidelong glances, into the heart of Krishna. And Krishna just said, "Oh Madhu, oh Madhu, oh Madhu." And he fainted on the floor. And all the friends of Radharani, they came and they're singing, Radhe 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 Jai Jai Shri Radhe 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 Jai Jai Shri Radhe 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 Jai Jai Shri Radhe 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 Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Said that Govinda Nandini, Govinda Mohini, Govinda Sabeswara. That Govinda Mohini, that Krishna, he's known as Madan Mohan, means that his beauty is so super excellent that Cupid, he faints. But Radharani, she's Madan Mohan Mohini. That when Krishna, who is so beautiful that his beauty defeats Cupid, when he sees Radharani, then he's completely conquered. Mohini means he's bewildered, that he does not know whether to go left or to go right. Govinda Mohini, Govinda Nandini. Govinda, that she gives all pleasure to Krishna. That whatever desire that Krishna has, that Radharani, she fulfills all those desires. It may appear that Mother Yashoda is fulfilling, that the father's fulfilling, the friends are fulfilling, the cows are fulfilling, but they're only fulfilling because that potency is coming from Radharani. Govinda Nandi, Govinda Saviswara, that she knows what Krishna wants before he even knows. That she is the soul of his soul. Savakanta Siromana, that she is the pressed jewel of all the lovers of Krishna. So, Radha and Krishna, they perform a very, very beautiful pastime. It's called Maharas. Then here, you see the gopis, they're crying in separation. That love is like a river of love. And that river, it has two embankments. An embankment on this side, and an embankment on that side. That on this side is the embankment of meeting. And we've discussed the meeting of Radha and Krishna. But there's the other side is the embankment of separation. And both sides are very, very sweet. That here, the gopis, they're in the river or the embankment of separation. And how did this happen? That Krishna, in autumn season, he played his flute. He was feeling so much separation from the gopis. And feeling that separation, tears were welling in his eyes. And taking his flute, he played very, very sweet sound, clinging. And that sound, it entered into the ears of the gopis. Some gopis were taking care of their husbands, and immediately they left their husbands and they ran to the forest. Some were cooking. Immediately they dropped the pots and they ran to the forest. Some were putting on their makeup, and their hands became so agitated that the makeup went all over their faces. And some were putting on their clothes, and they put on the top part on the bottom and the bottom part front on the top, and immediately they ran to the forest. When Krishna saw them, Krishna said, "You're dressed so beautifully and your makeup is so perfect, that why have you come here? That your duty is to serve your husbands. Why have you left your husbands?" It seems that the gopis were unchaste. They were married and they left their husbands. But the gopis are the supreme examples of chastity. Because real chastity means to take all of one's love and affection and without any reservation to place that love and affection in the Supreme. When that love and affection is placed in the Supreme, then one has supreme attachment for the Supreme, and then one gives up all attachment for anything else. So the gopis are the supreme example of love. We cannot imitate, but we can worship their love. Krishna said, "You go back," but the gopis did not leave. The gopis said, "Krishna, you're giving very, very good instructions. So because of these instructions, we know that you're Guru. And because you're Guru, then the first duty of a disciple is to first worship the Guru before they do anything else. So we've come for service, and we want you to satisfy us with service." Krishna being defeated, he danced with the gopis. They danced in an area called Vamsivat, which is not very big at all. But because it's a transcendental arena, it expanded to accommodate 3 billion young ladies. There were 3 billion ladies dancing. They came from so many different places. Some were the eternal associates of Krishna. Some, they had heard and chanted and purified their hearts. And now they took birth in Vrindavan, and for the first time, they're entering into the Ras dance. Krishna is saying, "Oh, when will you people in Miami take seriously to the process of love, of chanting, and give up the love of this material world and come and join me in the Ras dance?" Krishna's call. That when we come and enter into Ras dance, the gopis who would perform this hearing and chanting in this world, in places like Miami, who had been heartbroken in their relationships with boyfriend and girlfriend and this and that. But though heartbroken, they took their broken hearts and cried to Krishna. And now they got the fruit of their crying. They entered into Ras dance. Krishna, he danced with all of these gopis. And they had what's called Sobhagyaman, means they became so happy at their good fortune. And all the hardships that they had undergone for thousands of lives, they became as insignificant as a minute speck of dust compared to the bliss that they were feeling with Krishna. But one gopi, she was not satisfied. Her name was Radha. Radha could see that Krishna was dancing with all the gopis, and each gopi thought that Krishna was dancing only with her. But Radha could see that this was not the case. And she manifested a transcendental anger to increase the pleasure of the Ras dance, and she left. Though Krishna was there with 3 billion gopis, he left all of them only for Radha. Radha was running in the bushes of Vrindavan. Her hair was being caught in the twigs of the creepers and the trees. And crying, she ran and she went to a place called Shringavat. There Krishna, he caught up with her, and with very sweet words, he was taking these twigs out of her hair. In this way, Radharani's transcendental contrary mood was coming down. In the midst of this, the gopis, 3 billion gopis, they were wondering, where is she? And then they saw footprints. And they saw that there were footprints of Krishna and another gopi. And they said, Anayo Rantonunam Bhagavan Hari Ishvaraha. That who is this most fortunate person who's Aradita, who's worshipped Krishna in such a super excellent way that Krishna's left all of us for her. Krishna's intimate girlfriends, we see that it was Radharani's footprints and they were happy. When they started to come close, Krishna did not want that. Because he wanted that the Ras dance will continue in a most super excellent way. And if he was now with Radha and the different gopis, the Ras dance would not happen. Then he left. Radharani, in a state of ecstasy, she fainted. And all the gopis came and saw her. Now, even though some gopis were in a different group than Radharani, they all came and consoled Radharani, and together they're running in the forest, and this is the scene. And running in the forest, they were asking the trees, oh, have you seen Shyam Sundar? Oh, Ashok tree, have you seen him? They said, oh, these trees, and they're very stout and very proud. They will not help us. We'll ask the ladies. Oh, Malati vine, have you seen Shyam? They're too shy. Oh, Tulsi Devi, that you're always there at his lotus feet, have you seen him? But she would not reply. They said, we'll ask Mother Earth, oh Bhumi, that Krishna's walking on you, that you're so fortunate, that he's always taking shelter of your chest. Please tell us, where's Krishna? But they wouldn't answer. And crying, they started to cry. Jayati Terikam Janmana Rajam Shrayata Indira Shashpadatre Daita Drisyatam Dikshutavakam Twaikita Seva Twam Vichindate.